Hello everybody, it's Comic Quarter 410. I'm here to share with you the rest of the stuff that I got done at Baltimore Comic Con this year. I'll probably have to split it up into 2 videos. But before I get into any of that, I'd like to ask each and every one of you to please take the time to check out the link below. It's to the Kickstarter for my friends Buzz Hassan, Ken Hazer, and Blair Smith's newest Living Corpse series. You can scroll over on the Kickstarter page and check out the finished art from the book. It's gorgeous. You can look at all the different reward packages. There's some great deals on there. Cheap bundles that include all the digital copies of every Living Corpse book ever done, and a copy of the trade paperback signed by the creators. There's very cheap packages that'll give you custom sketch covers, and even original pages of art from the series for sale as cheap as $300, and with that you get the digital copies and a copy of the trade paperback. So please take the time to check it out, show your support, and if you can, please share it with other comic collectors. We'd really appreciate it. But this is a Living Corpse sketch Buzz did for me back in 2013. They do great commission work. If you get a sketch from them, you will not be disappointed. They put in a lot of work on them. And this is just one of my favorite covers from their Living Corpse series. This is the cover to issue 2 of the Xenoscope series. And it's obviously an homage to Tales from the Crypt, which I'm a huge fan of. They've also been published by Dynamite, so please show some support and share the word if you can. Got a few custom sketch covers this year, 3 of which are with CBCS. I got this done by Blair Smith, who's actually the colorist on the Living Corpse, but he's also a pretty great artist in his own right. I just asked him to do whatever Star Wars character he felt like doing. And he's really into the Rebels series right now, so he did Grand Admiral Thrawn for me. Did a great job, especially for what I paid for it, so thank you for that, Blair. And also got one from Steve Conley. I'm a big fan of his work on Star Trek Year 4. If you have kids that you want to get into comics, check out Bloop. You can read it for free online. It's his story about a space monkey. Great artwork, and it's great for kids. But since Steve Conley worked on Star Trek Year 4, I took this blank to him and asked him to draw Captain Kirk versus the Gorn, and he did a great job. Very happy with that as well. Speaking of Steve Conley, grab this from his table too. This is a reprint of all of his Astounding Space Thrill stories, many of which are very hard to find because they were done in like convention giveaways and really low print run indie books. So snatched that up and got him to sign it. Got an art book from Paris Cullens at his table. He signed it and did a little Blue Devil head sketch on the back for me. This is the first of 3 sketchbooks Ed McGuinness did. I could only afford to get one, so I got the first one. I actually sent in the Deadpool Merc with a Mouth variant that this cover image is taken from. I got that signed by Ed and sent that in to CBCS at the show. But that was a great sketchbook. He even did Hellboy in there. Amazing stuff in that book. And I had to get one from Adam Hughes. I didn't get the 2014 one last year, so I grabbed this one. It's the oldest one he had, and I don't think I need to tell you guys and girls how incredible the artwork inside that sketchbook is. So very glad to get a hold of those. Grabbed this at Monster Mania Con when I saw it. I'd never seen it before. This is Neil Adams' Monsters. It's by Vanguard Press. The story was so-so, but because Neil wrote it too, but the artwork is just top-notch and worth the price of admission alone, especially leading up to Halloween. So bought that up for 10 bucks. Grab this. It's $4.99. This is basically, you know, a huge trade paperback, excuse me, that is actually a preview of all the different Alejandro Jodorowsky books that they're going to have in print finally over here. They're being translated from French and published over here. And this is basically an extended preview of all those. But I'm a huge fan of his work. If you like off-the-wall, bizarre sci-fi stuff, check out any of Alejandro Jodorowsky's stuff. He even he worked with Mobius, one of my favorites. on the ankle, which is one of his most famous works. Got some more art books. Got these. Mark Schultz signed them. You know I'm a huge fan of his, so I got both of his carbon artwork books. As you can tell by the cover, everything in it is just stellar. Was a hell of a nice guy, so I bought them both. And there's the second Mark Schultz art book. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Was so excited to get my hands on those. And, of course, Frank Cho, the local guy to Baltimore. I've met him quite a few times. I'm a huge fan of him and his artwork. He's a hell of a nice guy. Got his Apes and Babes book 1 art book, and there is some stunning stuff in here that I've never seen anywhere. Some adult-oriented stuff, too, that I'm sure Greg Rucka wouldn't be happy about. Alright. Some books I got signed this year. It's basically, you know, what I did is get books signed. I bought a few exclusives, and basically I go to these shows to get sketch covers done and get books signed. But I got my World War Hulk #1 signed by Greg Pak, and my Incredible Hulk '95 signed by Greg Pak. I have part 1 of Planet Hulks being graded. Of course, I had to go see the amazing Adam Hughes, get some books signed. Again, a few of those are also being graded right now, but got my Wonder Woman 178 signed by Hughes, 189. Got my Justice League of America 31 signed by him. I think this is a very underrated and undervalued book. This is Adam Hughes' first published artwork for DC or Marvel, and he did the interior on this series, so any fans of his work, you might want to go pick it up, because when's the last time you've seen him do an interior? And this is another book I think flies under the radar, The Maze Agency #1 by Kamiko. This is Adam Hughes' first published work. So got him to sign that. Got my Dr. Manhattan #1. Sign's hard to see. He signed it in a pretty suspicious place there, Adam did. And he signed my #4 as well. Love this cover from his Justice League run. Issue 34. Signed that for me. Also got to meet Nick Bradshaw for the first time. I've been a big fan of his since his acclaimed run on Army of Darkness with Jim Kahurik, which won a Scream Award and was well deserved. Probably my favorite Army of Darkness comics. But I got my Army of Darkness Ashes to Ashes #2 signed. EC layout. Got my Ashes to Ashes #3 signed. Got my Shop Till You Drop Dead variant signed. This is a wraparound, and not only did Nick sign it, I had James Kahurik, Jim, sign it a few years ago. Got my Shop Till You Drop Dead #3 signed, the Star Wars homage that Nick Bradshaw did. Absolutely love that cover. And I'm really enjoying Spidey, even though they took Nick off it pretty quickly. His covers were amazing. Got him to sign my Spidey #1, #2, #3, and #4. Really digging that series. Liking it better than Amazing Spider-Man at the moment, actually. Went to see SL Gallant this year, and have a sketch cover that I got, G.I. Joe sketch cover that I got done, is being graded. He does amazing commission work. But I got Shannon and the inker Brian Shearer to sign this retailer incentive to G.I. Joe 208. My variant to G.I. Joe 215, Death of Snake Eyes Part 4. My retailer incentive variant to G.I. Joe 200, Shannon signed it. It was already signed by Larry Hama, who did the sketch cover. Gallant and Shearer signed my sub-variant to G.I. Joe 214. Sorry, those were out of order. And I said it before, I'm a huge, huge fan of Mark Schultz. So finally got to meet him, and he was just such a nice guy. Got this Conan the Slayer variant just to get him to sign it. Beautiful, beautiful cover. Glad to have that signed because you know I'm a huge Conan fan as well, so that worked out pretty well that he did a variant to one of my favorite characters 2 months before the show. Got my Cadillacs and Dinosaurs #1 signed by Mark, and my #2. Have a Xenozoic #1 and my Death Rattle are both with CBCS being graded, but this is my other copy of Xenozoic #1 that Mark Schultz signed for me. Got my #2 signed. Just beautiful, beautiful cover work. I just love his artwork. Signed my Xenozoic #3. #4. #5. Arguably my favorite cover of the series. Really love that cover. And he saw my Xenozoic #6 as well. Great, great experiences this year. Did not have one single solitary unpleasant experience this year. Last but not least, got to see one of my favorite artists, Frank Cho, again. I've met him at multiple store signings in my area. I have a lot of books signed by him, but I always go and see him because he's such a nice guy. And I had to get this Bruce Lee cover signed by him. Huge fan of Bruce Lee. When I saw Frank Cho was doing a cover, had to pick it up, and he signed that for me. Got 2 issues away from completing my Liberty Meadow run. Love, love, love this series. If you're a fan of the Sunday comic strips, like Bloom County is the one I see him kind of taking influence from the most, check this out. But warning, it is not for kids. It's like an adult form of Bloom County, and it's excellent stuff. But he signed my Liberty Meadows 1. I believe this is 2. They stopped putting the numbers on the front. Not sure what issue number this is, but got him to sign that one. And this, I'm going to have to go through and write the issue numbers on the back, but yeah, I got quite a few books signed by Frank. I went and saw him twice because I had some exclusive show variants for him to sign too, so I went and saw him twice. But he did these 3 covers for Amazing Spider-Man that I had to get him to sign. Signed my 488. My 489, absolutely love this Frank Cho cover. And my 487, it's the issue number is escaping me, but it's very reminiscent of a classic Romita Sr. early Amazing Spider-Man cover. The issue number is escaping me now, but love those. Got them signed as well. And I had to tell him how I was asking my shop to hold 2 copies of every Frank Cho Wonder Woman cover, and I was down for 24 issues. And then when I heard what happened with him and Greg Rucka, I told my shop to take me off the book after issue 6. And he thanked me for that. And I said, well, your covers were basically the reason I was buying that book. That's why I asked for doubles of your covers, not 1 of each. So, not that Nicholas Scott's artwork, her artwork has actually been tremendous on that series. Been very impressed with the progression of her work. She does some great stuff too, but didn't like the way Greg Rucka reacted. I think he overreacted completely to Frank Cho's cover for Wonder Woman 3. But I got Frank to sign my Wonder Woman #1 and my Wonder Woman #2. And he signed my Deadpool the Gauntlet #1, which I meant to get signed by Riley Brown when I was at the show, and I forgot to go see him. But Frank Cho did this cover, so I got that signed as well. Everyone, I thank you for your time. Thanks for stopping by. I'll be back hopefully soon to show the rest of the stuff I got at Baltimore. But everyone, take care of yourselves and enjoy your comics.